There's a great saying, the truth is usually very simple. What gets complicated is evading the truth. And I think that's appropriate here. On June 25th, the Delaware General Assembly held a public comment period. Members of the public could leave comments on what they thought about the Delaware HB 162. We are going to see characters from the Always Marco universe that we've never seen together, and I guarantee you we'll never see together again. We will see in this video Doug Brooks providing comment, giving guidance to the lawmakers. We will see Bill Keep, you know, friend of the movement. And we will see Dave Grimaldi and Scott Johnson in the exact same room. Yes, Scott texts Johnson. Scott,
let's go.
Text Johnson. Scott,
I took a full load.
Johnson. Scott,
I got to get the bag.
Scott,
do you like me?
Scott,
yeehaw, it's bull wrangling time.
Johnson, in the flesh. Mind you, this is a guy who didn't even show his face for years until one of my spies discovered it, but he showed up in person to be at this public comment period. This is so big for me. This is like, you know, the recent BET Awards, the most recent BET Awards, where it was like a blast from the past. They went through all the eras. Bow Wow was there, Jermaine Dupri. This is like every era of Always Marco so far in one thing. This is how it feels to me.
All right, up first, Dave Grimaldi.
Okay, so here comes Dave Grimaldi up first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Dave Grimaldi. I am the CEO of the Direct Selling Association. Our companies and our sellers are the little engines of the American economy. Most of them are women. We are passionate about the power of relationships, entrepreneurialism, and consumer protection. And I want to be clear from the outset. We support smart, targeted consumer protection. Representative Rosslevin, let me just be very clear. The predatory practices that you talked about, we condemn them strongly and forthright.
I have to pause. First, he says, our companies are the little engines that run blah, 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 American economy, whatever. The little engines? Are we talking about Amway, the nearly 100-year-old company that's worth billions and billions of dollars? Are we talking about New Skin? Are we talking about, I can't even say some of these names because you know I've got things I'm dealing with. And then he goes on to say, yeah, most of them are women. Yeah, that's actually not the flex you think it is when you consider that most of those women that you proudly boast about being involved in MLMs are losing money. And he knows that, of course. And then number 3, he said he turns to this woman in the purple here, which is Melanie Ross-Levin. Okay, she's one of the legislators who's introducing this bill. He turns to her and goes, let me just be clear. We support, shut the fuck up, Dave. Shut the fuck up, Dave. Groveling Grimaldi. We support targeted regulation and we don't like the bad actors. You don't like the bad actors? 1 year ago, I released this video called Proof Every MLM is a Scam. In the thumbnail, you can see the synopsis of what this video was about. The video was about a truth in advertising investigation that lasted years, where they discovered that 98% of the MLM companies who were members of the Direct Selling Association used unsubstantiated income claims to promote the company's business opportunity, aka they lied, they used deception and lies in order to paint a false picture about what kind of money you could earn if you joined their respective MLM, and that was discovered with 2,000 plus pieces of proof submitted and collected by Truth in Advertising, which they published. Now, nobody knows actually how many multi-level marketing companies there are. Almost by the day, certain ones shut down and new ones start up. Across the globe, we don't know how many there are. There's probably more than 1,000 MLMs. But the Direct Selling Association is a limited amount of MLMs that are part of the exclusive club. These are supposed to be the creme de la creme, the most legitimate of the most legitimate MLMs. And those are the ones that Truth in Advertising chose to focus their investigation on. So Dave Grimaldi, what the fuck are you talking about when you say we're committed to weeding out the bad actors or whatever he said? And by the way, 98%, as if it isn't close enough to 100%, tell me the 2% of companies, however many that represents. Is that one company? I bet you anything, if you gave me a week to do some research into this company, I could provide you a folder of 100 plus deceptive earnings claims. Truth in Advertising, holla at me if you need help on the next investigation.
Direct sellers are responsible businesses that collectively support tens of thousands of jobs and generate billions in annual exports.
Translated, MLMs are scams that deceive and rip off tens of thousands of people and strip billions of dollars from them.
This is a sector of the over 42,000 Delaware residents who participate in direct selling, and those contributions that amount to more than $143 million to the state's economy.
Meaning extracting from the state's economy.
We deeply respect the intent behind this legislation.
Meaning we don't respect the intent behind this legislation. That's why we're fighting so hard to defeat it.
But HB 162, even as amended, and we are grateful for the collaboration, still contains provisions that would harm the very consumers it aims to protect. protect.
What he means is that would protect the very consumers we seek to harm.
Let me quickly explain why. First, the bill continues to allow compensation tied to recruitment. That's a red flag. Ethical companies that follow the DSA Code of Ethics only pay for product sales, not for adding names to a downline.
More doublespeak. Members of the DSA only pay their distributors based on product sales. But what happens when you just refer to sales as the purchases made by the next generation of recruits who wouldn't have made those purchases if it weren't for the fact that it was a mandatory element or a de facto mandatory element of becoming a distributor yourself? Never mind the fact that in literally every MLM I've ever studied, buying product is directly tied to your points value, your PV, your personal volume. When you buy more, you get more points, which translates to your rank, which translates to how much money you get paid back as the rebate. So what the fuck? You're lying.
If this legislation is truly trying to prevent bad actors, that loophole must be closed. Second, the required income disclosures, while well-meaning, can distort reality.
So fucking condescending. I know it's well-meaning that we have income disclosures, but why would any legitimate business have to worry about just telling people what it is? That's like if you went to apply for a job at a company and they just didn't want to tell you how much the job pays or how much other people made in that same position at the job.
A startup with 10 participants, where one person earns income, would be required to report that only 10% earned anything. And that's not deception, that's early stage growth.
Did he really say that's not deception, that's early stage growth? The gaslighting is on another level. Listen to this. A company where there's only 10 people in it, if only one person is making money, we would have to report that only 10% of people are making anything. Yeah, because that's the truth. I'm looking around for the person that you think was fucking born yesterday, Dave Grimaldi. He ain't here. I'm looking around. Is there a baby in here? This floundering, this groveling from groveling Grimaldi just goes to show you how indefensible and weak and excuse-ridden any defense of multi-level marketing is. It's sad.
Blanket disclosures like this risk misleading customers and consumers, more than they protect them. Third, by applying one-size-fits-all language to every company, regardless of how ethical, compliant, or small, it risks legalizing the worst behaviors while hamstringing the best actors. This industry already has meaningful oversight. The Direct Selling Self-Regulatory Council, or DSSRC, monitors income and product claims for truth and transparency.
We already have good oversight. Our self-regulatory council that we created, that we are responsible for, it's saying we investigated ourselves and we found we did nothing wrong. Listen to him. Give them the rope and they will hang themselves with it. Yeah, we already have oversight. Who's doing the oversight, Dave? Oh, it's the Direct Selling Self-Regulatory Council. It's our own thing. It's like the mafia being like, yeah, we have the BMSRC, the Brooklyn Mafia Self-Regulatory Council. You know, they be looking at all of our work and making sure that everything we do is above board. Don't worry, guys. All those phone calls you've been getting, all those emails you've been getting from people who have been scammed, people who have sent you screenshots with proof of deceptive claims, the Truth in Advertising investigation that said 98% of our member companies were making deceptive, unsubstantiated income claims. Don't worry about any of that because we have the Direct Selling Self-Regulatory Council. Yay! Guys, everything's fine. Nothing bad is happening. I just love being gaslit by slimy dudes in suits. We've been getting a lot of it recently. We got Dave Grimaldi telling us don't worry about pyramid schemes because the Direct Selling Self-Regulatory Council is on top of it. We just found out that Epstein did nothing wrong, that it turns out nothing happened. There's no list. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. Let's continue.
It has reviewed thousands of cases and referred the worst offenders to regulators.
Why were there even thousands of cases to begin with? There's only, last time I checked, less than 100 companies that are part of the Direct Selling Association. Imagine McDonald's had thousands of cases of like contaminated food. I think we would probably start to look at the greater ecosystem of the Mc Corporation and ask some questions.
We collaborate with the Federal Trade Commission and we will continue doing so. We're not asking to delay reform. We're asking to get it right for Delaware's entrepreneurs and its consumers. Thank you for allowing me to offer these comments today.
Fuck you.
Up next, Scott Johnson.
Scott Johnson! I've never been so excited. Here he comes, the big man.
I'm Scott Johnson. I'm coming from the western part of Delaware. It's called Texas.
He's doing comedy. Oh, I love it. What a charmer. I'm coming from the western part of Delaware called Texas.
And thank you for the welcoming Texas weather today. I appreciate it.
Wasting his time. He has 2 minutes to make a Hey, Scott, this isn't an episode of Building Fortunes Radio. You don't get to just drone on and on and on for hours. You only have 2 minutes. Why are we making jokes and talking about the weather?
Delaware is the first state. I would like to be the first state to have good MLM laws. I spent a dozen years in Amway, lost about $200,000 to $250,000.
Ouch.
To overpriced products and what I call the tool scam.
Tool scam mentioned. Take a shot.
More importantly, a dozen years of time spent with my young sons months was lost.
It's actually kind of refreshing to see him admit, because this is so hard to get him to admit. He always takes this pious, holier than thou, condescending approach when talking about Amway. He always tries to frame it in a way where he looks like he's not a victim. He always tries to make it somehow look like he's still smarter than the scam, even though he was in it for 12 years, as he says, lost $250,000, missed out on a bunch of time with his young sons, which of course is horrible. But as I've said before, I would respect Scott if he just admitted it instead of trying to gaslight himself and everyone else into thinking that there's a right way to do MLM when there isn't.
Jeff Bezos, whoever has a lot of money, I don't care who they are, they can't turn the clock back. That time is gone. Helping others not have that situation is my mission. I work on this issue every day. When I say tools, I'm talking about meetings, books, recordings, voicemail, website access. These are all undisclosed profits made by the upline and Amway and some other MLMs. If you Google the name Brig Hart, Salt Lake City, you'll see a guy who said, I was making almost $1 million a year in Amway. I was making $8 to $10 million a year from the tools. This is undisclosed to prospects and distributors, downline. It's only the top layer that's making this money. It's at least 2/3 for most of these upper level people. Even if it's a multiple of 2, that's 2/3 of your income. I believe that is RICO fraud. It's at least business fraud if you're misrepresenting the business model. And that's what's going on here, is you're misrepresenting the business model. A little bit of comment here. This has multiple layers. One of them is the fact that you can see my tie. It has little diamonds on it. These are actually cubic zirconium. These are fake diamonds. Diamond is a level in Amway. Most diamonds do not maintain that level. They go down, but their income stays up because of the hidden tool scam. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. That's 2 minutes.
Is that my 2?
Yeah.
All right.
We're trying. I'm
I'll
sorry.
stop. That's okay.
If you have any written comments, we'll take those too.
Oh my God, this is so funny. You can tell he was just about to go on and on and on. A minute ago, he was like, a couple points. My tie, it's cubic zirconia. He was trying to do this. It was actually kind of a clever setup. He was trying to do like a bar about how the diamond that is presented to you as this flashy thing is actually fake and it's more akin to cubic zirconia. And then they cut him off.
I appreciate it.
Oh, you could tell that ate him.
Okay, going to virtual public comment. Douglas Brooks.
I did an interview with Doug Brooks on my channel 2 years ago.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. I'm an attorney, semi-retired. I've been representing franchisees and distributors, including in multi-level marketing companies, for about 40 years. I have to say, in that time, I've never had a client say that they were given too much information about a possible business opportunity.
Get him, Doug. This is how easy it is to see the contrast between who's trying to deceive you and who has your best interest at heart. Dave Grimaldi has to go on and on with these appeals to emotion about most of the people we represent are women. Don't we like women? Woo! Women! We put money into the economy. We like the economy, right? Everybody likes the economy. America, baby. Regulation. We already have regulation. Direct Selling Self-Regulatory Council. So no need to have more regulation. And then Doug Brooks gets on and in one sentence goes, I've never had somebody tell me they got too much information. They got too much transparency. They got too much disclosure. Exactly. It's that simple. If what you are doing is legitimate, it will stand up to scrutiny.
There is no way that this bill will hurt any legitimate company.
Are y'all fucking paying attention? No legitimate company would be hurt by having more information available to them.
The disclosures all concern information that the companies in the industry either already collect or should be collecting based on very clear FTC precedents. The industry has been very effective at lobbying to evade or avoid restrictions that apply to other business opportunities. Franchisees are subject to the FTC franchise rule. Other business opportunities are subject to the FTC business opportunity rule, but the MLM industry has managed to avoid being covered by those rules.
Here come Doug Brooks, wielding the dual needler combo from fucking Halo 2, just emptying the clip calmly.
This bill takes a modest step towards providing key information for prospective business owners. And I should add, we've heard from the DSA and the implication that members of the DSA shouldn't be covered by this. The FTC issued a report earlier this year in connection with a rulemaking proceeding. They concluded that deceptive earnings claims are endemic. They are prevalent. And in fact, they looked at a study that truthandadvertising.org did,
Please don't bring up the same truth in advertising thing I did, Doug.
which concluded that 97% of the members of the DSA, this is supposedly the cream of the crop, were making deceptive earnings claims.
Fuck you, Dave Grimaldi. It was actually 98. On your head top, Dave Grimaldi. Oh, they don't want to have regulation? Well, the Federal Trade Commission, the highest authority in all the land, said that deceptive earnings claims were endemic in the multi-level marketing industry. And Truth in Advertising did a study that said 98% of your member companies made deceptive earnings claims. Huh? Could it be? No, it couldn't possibly be. Now, I'm being a conspiracy theorist. It would almost seem like all of these companies are actually up to no good and that they're not legitimate at all and that the term multi-level marketing is actually just a not so clever euphemism for pyramid scheme and that these companies have been able to evade regulation because of political corruption and lobbying. No. Good thing that's not the case. Guys, there is no Epstein list. Everything's okay.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. That's your 2 minutes.
Hey, you know what? Go ahead and cut me off. I'm pretending I'm Doug Brooks right now. Go ahead and cut me off. The mic's already been dropped. We already bodied y'all. Scott Johnson up here talking about his tie and cubic zirconia. Dave Grimaldi out here talking about women and the self-regulatory council.
Up last, William Keep should be able to unmute.
Thank you. I'll begin by asking the committee members to review my letter to Representative Ross Levin. Markets are most efficient when there's access to information. Markets that lack information misallocate resources. The MLM or direct selling industry has fought all efforts to increase transparency, an industry where the vast majority of participants end financially worse off. For decades, the industry has faced accusations of misleading earnings claims, accusations verified by the nonprofit truthinadvertising.org. The industry requires recruits to commit to achieving difficult to sustain purchase volumes and to adhere to complex, difficult to understand policies and procedures while year after year funneling income upline to a minuscule number of repeat winners. As noted, the FTC found that many MLM participants receive no income, and among those who earn income, the vast majority earned less than $84 per month before expenses. When unhappy MLM participants realized that MLM is not a level playing field, they are reminded that they are subject to forced arbitration and sometimes even non-disparagement clauses. I understand the industry has tagged this bill anti-MLM, yet the individuals attacking this bill regularly benefit from regulations that increase consumer information. Would they call required nutrition labeling anti-food or fuel efficiency and recharge information anti-vehicle?
Oh my God. It's over. Dave Grimaldi with his paper like...
HB 162 brings needed information into the marketplace so Delaware consumers can make informed choices. Thank you.
And that concludes public comment.
Oh, it sure does, but we're not done because the next day, this is an email I received from one of my spies. It says, as of this evening, House Bill 162 has not been released from committee in the Senate, meaning they're still deliberating it, and with the legislative session ending Monday, June 30th, aka it's summertime and all the politicians are going to Israel, we have learned it will not be considered again until the legislature reconvenes in January 2026. In the meantime, the Direct Selling Association and Dave Grimaldi are sure as fuck going to be doing everything they can to rub elbows and grease palms with politicians to try to make sure that when the session opens again, that they vote against this bill and that everyone like me who's following it will have forgotten about it. We get an email from the Direct Selling Association reminding us that on September 17th, we have the Direct Selling Day on Capitol Hill. Yes, the DSA, Big Pyramid, is allowed to have their own day on Capitol Hill where they go and schmooze the politicians and eat little sandwiches and pal around about how great MLM is, and they tell their made-up fantasies about, oh yeah, we're a great, blah, blah, blah. This changed so many people's lives. We make this much money. We represent women, women, women. July 3rd, they released DSA Advocacy Mid-Year Report. 191 bills tracked, 79 opposed, 0 high priority threats passed. You are literally looking into the belly of the beast right now. Look at how high priority their efforts are to make sure that no laws that would reel them in get passed. Look at this. 191 bills tracked relating to direct selling, independent contractor status, pyramid schemes, and earnings claims. What? Pyramid schemes? I thought you guys aren't pyramid schemes, right? You guys are legitimate multi-level marketing companies, right? Why would you even include that? Next, on July 14th, the DSA released this. DSA urges FTC to follow the data on earnings claims rule at the American Enterprise Institute. Once again, they have flown Dave Grimaldi out somewhere to lick the boots and grovel at the feet of some politician or another. Let's check this out.
Right here. Thank you for doing this. Dave Grimaldi, Direct Selling Association. Chris, great work, great insights. The whole team there, Lois Greisman, they've been great to work with.
Just start off with some pandering, some bootlicking. Everybody's great to work with. Love you guys. Love what you're doing. First name basis. Thanks, Chris.
We very quickly, as you're working on their earnings claim rule, Delaware legislature took a similar path in the past couple of months, introducing a bill that would have had massive unintended consequences for our industry, premised on the same theory that you discussed earlier that we take very seriously, which is misrepresentation and the creation of a false expectation in a consumer about what that earning potential could be.
Which 98% of your member companies are guilty of, according to Truth in Advertising. Let's see where he's going with this, folks.
You've previously said that you follow data, that you want to look at the actual numbers and where the fraud is. We do too, and we condemn all bad actors, and we're working to eradicate them.
We're working to eradicate ourselves.
Any thoughts on this year? And again, we'd like to continue partnering with you on it.
I mean, I'll just say in the abstract, I don't see why any legitimate business would be averse to a rulemaking that just simply says you can't mislead consumers with your pricing.
Exactly. Dave Grimaldi here says that he wants the rulemaking considerations to be data focused. Whose data? Let me guess. The Direct Selling Self-Regulatory Council? The MLM companies themselves? Once again, a simple answer. Legitimate companies should have no problem with more disclosure. There's a great saying, the truth is usually very simple. What gets complicated is evading the truth. And I think that's appropriate here. We're literally witnessing what a real life lobbying multi-billion-dollar propaganda campaign looks like. And it's fucking sad, isn't it? Isn't it sad how easy it is for me, one guy on his laptop, to poke through the lies and the bullshit and the nonsense? It's just amazing. It's the number one I can't believe you've done this of 2025, that Dave Grimaldi is here talking about women, the economy, self-regulation, and he's bodied by multiple people multiple times saying no legit company should have a problem with more disclosure. Once again, the truth is usually not complicated. What gets complicated is evading the truth. Bars.
Bars.